What is up, y'all? It is 3/4 of your Vols ATB crew. Me, Drew, and Alex here for another Wednesday with the family. Coming in to break it down. A lot of information in this one. Going to keep it short but sweet. Obviously, live show in 2 days at SkyBox in Knoxville. Obviously, a lot of recruiting information on football and basketball side, so a lot to dive into. But first off, Drew and Alex, how y'all doing, boys?
Just living the dream, baby. Just living the dream. Another long day of work. Couple days till SkyBox Bar and Grill on Friday night with Juice and maybe another guest. Who knows? Pretty fired up about it. I think we've all been looking forward to this for quite some time. So can't wait.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just glad to be back in the home state for once. Feels good to be back in volunteer country. I went out in public and got complimented on a new Tennessee shirt that I bought by 3 different people. You don't get that in South Florida, so I'm also living the dream. I'm just go ahead and say that. But super excited for the live show. Friday's just around the corner. 2 more sleeps and we're there. So a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Only 2 more days until live at SkyBox Bar and Grill, Southgate Street, Knoxville, Tennessee. Going to be a crazy one. Obviously host with Juice Davis, me, Drew, Alex, and Lo all meeting for the first time. Lo isn't here with us. She's out there securing another partnership for the show. So it's just the boys here today. But obviously, let's go ahead and dive in to the huge 2 back-to-back days in the football recruiting week. First off, starting off with Ricky Gibson, a 3-star cornerback out of Phoenix City, Alabama. A huge pickup who had a legit offer from Georgia, winning a recruiting battle over the Dogs there, overall depth and just the view. Ricky Gibson was, linked it to Coach Martinez and the staff and everything. They had vision, getting a huge pickup there. And then the next day, getting a double boom back-to-back with the number 15th overall cornerback in the 2023 class, Jordan Matthews, out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Obviously over LSU, getting the kid out of Baton Rouge over LSU. And then how heavy he was leaning to Texas. On 3, the prediction meter had this kid as a 93% chance lean to Texas. I put out the tweet maybe 45 minutes, which I got word saying, hey, I'm kind of hearing this thing might be going 50-50. I'm not hearing that's all Texas. It's going to might be a shocker. He opens the box and pulls out the Tennessee hat and a crazy commitment. Really cool video. If you haven't watched it, you can go see it on his Instagram. Huge commitment for Tennessee, solidifying the DB room. This 2023 class, that DB room looks like the strongest position now. And how take a bow for Coach Martinez, man, landing 2 of the top prospects on the DB board in back-to-back days. Crazy. So,
yeah, absolutely. I think this was a thing that all 3 of us discussed about maybe a couple months ago, how that we were concerned about the lack of, defensive backs that were in this recruiting class. And for Heupel and Willie Martinez, and this entire Tennessee staff were able to snag 2 DBs in back-to-back days. I think it speaks volumes for, not only Heupel, but Willie Martinez as well. I think Willie Martinez is one of the most underrated recruiters that we have on the staff right now, who doesn't get the respect, as Birdman would say, the respect the man deserves. Okay.
Put some respect on his name.
Put some spec on his name. Absolutely. Put some spec on William Martinez's name. He's one of the top 2 recruiters that we have on the staff. And I think it just speaks to volumes is what he can do on the field with, the talent that he's had in the past and what he's put in the league. So, Ricky Gibson was a big one. I think, honestly, I think he'll wind up being a 4-star before.
Oh, yeah, he should be.
Before the end of the season. And Jordan Matthews is huge. that came out of nowhere. Virtually had no shot, even though, Brando and Austin Price both said there was a little bit of chance. But
yeah,
top 150 prospect, and Sam Ellinger and all those Texas boys, they can keep on saying that we're back. They're going to have to wait another few years.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Obviously, the Jordan Matthews one being a more surprise to the known fan base. Ricky Gibson, he should be a 4-star. Actually, let's be honest, he was a 4-star not even a week ago on 3. Yeah. And then when it came out that, the rumor was going that he was going to go to Tennessee, he surprisingly dropped. It was kind of crazy. Still in the 45th range, I think, of overall corners in the class. Definitely should, go up. True corner. That one was a crazy one. His parents actually had a wedding anniversary, which delayed his decision. And he was going to be going to Georgia and then decided, hey, Tennessee's the better fit. That was all that. And then with the Jordan Matthews one, even on the show, I think last week I hinted at, the smoke that the family didn't like. They were kind of keeping quiet with the media, and they didn't like the whole media interaction. And when you saw on the media, you go to On3 Rivals 24/7, it had Texas all along. And Jordan Matthews chose the right UT, obviously chose us over LSU too. And his comment on Instagram talking about, Baton Rouge and Tiger Stadium is pretty cool, but, Rocky Top and Neyland Stadium, it's something different. It's electric. And even his dad, the LSU alum, seeing that was pretty cool. Like, he was agreeing and nodding his head and happy for his son, obviously. So that was pretty cool. But also, looking at the DB room, corner especially, Jordan Matthews, Ricky Gibson, Christian Conyer, all three of those guys out of state, going into someone else's house, walking your trap to go over your trap, whatever you want to call it, going into Kentucky, taking one from the coal miners, going into Alabama, probably could have been an Alabama offer if Alabama didn't get straight studs in their roster, get them over Georgia, and then go into Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and you get a guy over LSU and Texas. That's three huge pulls. Obviously it's been back and forth with this whole class and, missing out on some guys, but you go in there into people's other states and you land top talent. It doesn't get any more impressive than that. And then a cool note, actually, next week, I'm going to be interviewing Christian Conyer live from my page. He's coming from South Warren to Hendersonville High School, so I'm going to have a chance to do that. So that's a pretty cool opportunity. But this DB class, man, strong.
Yeah, I want to say Tennessee also rises to 13th. This is all from On3 that I was looking at. But Tennessee rises to the 13th ranked class in recruiting. They went up 4 spots with that commit, or I guess with both those commits. We go up 2 spots in the SEC. We go up to 5th behind Bama, Georgia, LSU, and Florida. I don't know what's in the water at Florida. Billy Napier's been pulling people left and right recently, but, to each their own. They still got to show up on game day just like we do. But, yeah, y'all killed it with Ricky Gibson, the 3-star out of Trussville, Alabama. The tape showed really great pursuit, and he closes on the ball well, and we always need good tacklers, especially from our secondary. And I really like the way that the staff closed in on him and got him to commit. That way we did have that 1-2 punch from him and then right into Jordan Matthews, like you said. A legacy commit for LSU that we just pulled right from them. And, again, he was wanted by Texas. I don't really care. Apparently from an unnamed source on Twitter saying that Texas didn't want him anymore. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Right.
We're not going to give
That's so cap. Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. We're not going to give that man the cloud of day.
Let's
But
don't
Texas,
give the man any publicity that he's.
I got to throw shade at Texas anytime.
I will say I'm at fault of giving this man way too much attention on this podcast. But you know what? Fuck that guy. All right.
Okay.
This man had 5 visits to Texas, right? Like and trust me, I am thrilled to death that Jordan Matthews has come to Tennessee, right? But there is no reasonable sense whatsoever he should have come here after doing 5 visits to Texas. So for such and such to say that, that they pulled his offer last second is a bunch of malarkey, okay? Pure nonsense. Fake news.
Yeah.
Hey,
The same,
down.
yeah, both prospects,
Points down.
100%. Both prospects, 100%. Ricky Gibson with Georgia was 100% to take at Georgia. Just the stacked up depth they have there, and then the opportunity at Tennessee. And Tennessee was actually his 3rd offer. Georgia didn't offer him, until like 4 or 5 weeks ago, just barely hopping in here late. So obviously being early on the guy when the staff first got here, that was key with Ricky Gibson. And then with Jordan Matthews, having him on the official visit with Jakeem Jackson, John Slaughter, and the rest of the DBs with the safeties and the corners too. I feel like that week was huge as well. His heart told him Tennessee. And then, getting that over Texas obviously was huge. I think everyone was stunned that he pulled out that Tennessee hat, besides like the few that did know that it was as close, more close than people really thought it would be. And, to put that out and, get that kind of thing and then get everyone kind of hyped and watching and kind of beat the crystal ball. I think that's what he kind of wanted to do the whole entire time. Obviously, family didn't really care about the whole smoke and, getting ruined for the moment. And I think he was all along in Tennessee. Like, he's been having great dialogue. So a huge pickup, number 15th overall corner. I don't know if y'all saw Alante Turner, the other New Orleans native, going there and showing love to the Baton Rouge kids, saying he made the best decision of his life, being a DB and coming to Tennessee. So obviously a commitment's one thing. If we can get him to signing day, this DB class is going to be absolutely crazy. Recruiting, kind of stand still there, having its moments, surging and then stopping. And then now back-to-back days, landing 2 4-star corners, solidifying the defense. And now, being honest, when you look at this class, you look at edge rushers, linebackers, DBs in the 2023 class, I'm more excited about the defensive side of the ball than I am offense. Granted that we have Nico, the number 3 overall quarterback, arguably the number 1 quarterback in the country. That defense, man, it's stacked. And I think it starts always, I say, edge rushers and DBs. And when you have guys, 3 of those guys that can run like 4.4 speed and, get to the ball quick, have height. It's going to be, the key to success in the SEC. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only thing I could maybe ask for Heupel and Rodney Gardner and William Martinez to do in the last 4 or 5 months before this class concludes is just try to recruit a couple more interior defensive linemen and offensive linemen as well, because you can never have too many as far as nose tackles and especially offensive linemen in this conference. But I think overall, though, I mean, given the circumstances where 2 or 3 months ago that, we lost, Carnell Tate, Francis, Lucas Simmons, I think the turnaround has been nothing but short of impressive. So great job by Heupel, great job by William Martinez and the staff. I mean, I still expect another 3 or 4 more commitments, I think, from this recruiting class. But I would say the core piece of it, though, is definitely Morgan set, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's for sure. Tennessee, obviously, landing the 2 guys. But like I said last week, they're not going to be done recruiting the guys they missed out on earlier this year. Francis Malgoa, Lucas Simmons, guys like C.J. Allen, the linebacker that committed to Georgia after his visit here. There's a lot of guys out there, even Tamarian Parker, who committed from, Penn State. Tennessee's obviously going to have dialogue. And then you've been hearing the rumors with Francis. He kind of committed early, only a month ago. Might not be solid. Who knows? If that opens up, I definitely expect Tennessee to be locked in there and be like a solid relationship, obviously, with Nico and the way the staff built it that quick. But, I mean, who knows, man? You never know until he gets a signing day, obviously. And if Tennessee can hold this class and then flip, maybe a few guys on the offensive side, the defensive side of the ball, and get more involved with some receivers or, an elite running back like Roderick Robertson out in, California, that'll make this class go from, really good to elite and, already, a top 5 SEC class. But there's only, Georgia and Bama, obviously hard to beat them. But I think Tennessee could definitely have like the 3rd best class in the SEC and maybe a top 10 one, 15 in the country. So.
Well, while we're on football, do you want to go into the polls a little bit, the preseason polls?
Yeah.
I was gonna say we got one of our listeners, B Shablo, was saying thoughts on Tennessee getting snubbed from the top 25, and as y'all know, we did. Alabama claims the number 1 spot, shockingly, with 54 first place votes, but just them, Ohio State and Georgia, are the only ones that receive first place votes. Tennessee finds themselves basically right on the outside of the top 25 at number 26 with 180 votes per the AP top 25 poll. Does anybody want to take that one away?
Yeah, no, I definitely will, because I'm definitely going to be the minority when it comes to this. I think it was fair. I don't think this is we don't deserve to be in the preseason top 25. Like, with all the returning pieces that we have on offense and, the improvements that we all expect on the defensive side of the ball, this team still went 7-6 last year, okay, which is still an improvement from what we expected. But a 7-6 team from a year ago does not deserve to be in the preseason top 25 this year. And this team will be in the top 25 when we play Pittsburgh, in the second week, because either Cincinnati or Arkansas or Ole Miss, one of those 3 teams are going to lose. So, and we'll have one of those spots. But yeah, I think it was pretty reasonable. I mean, we don't deserve to be in the preseason top 25 just yet. We have to prove ourselves out there.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to agree with that we have to prove ourselves out there also. But at the same time, let's not act like we didn't have a top 10 offense. We returned our offense pretty much on paper, only losing Velus and Javante. I think obviously reloading, as long as Brew McCoy and someone else gets eligible, then, that offense is going to go out there and put up points. And if you can score a lot, then that's going to mostly lead to wins, as long as our defense, at least win some kind of possessions. But when I also look at that to argue that the reason why we do deserve to get in there, Wake Forest without Sam Hartman, their quarterback, being out with his injury. And then, Cincinnati, they lost their whole roster with Desmond Riddler. I don't know if they're going to be able to go in there and get into the college playoff picture again. It's kind of probably not going to be likely. Houston coming out of nowhere, BYU. I just think there's some teams in there that Tennessee very well could respectfully jump with the level of competition in our schedule that we do play and the product that we did put on the field with a lackluster roster and a first-year head coach. I just think that, with the returning talent and what we did add, even though it wasn't a lot with the freshman roster, like it's a top 25 team. And to be 26th out of all spots, like we're not 30th or all the way out. 26, right on the outside. It just kind of feels like on purpose. But I mean, we also have to earn it. I agree 100% that we do have to earn it. It's not like we're a top 10 team in the country. We're definitely not.
Look,
but Josh Pate, he with his model, he dropped the he dropped in the top 15. So
Look, I agree with you that like this is a top 25 team. In fact, I would argue this is probably a top 15 team. I genuinely believe this team has the potential to do that. But they take into effect what the teams did last year as well. Like Pittsburgh deserves to be in the top 25. They won the fucking ACC. Cincinnati deserves to be in the top 25. They were in the college football playoff last year. Wake Forest deserves to be in there. They were in the ACC championship. They won their division. I mean, they won 9 games last year. But even the worst teams that Butch Jones had, like that 2017 team, that team was a preseason top 25 team. And we're not going to argue here and agree that team was remotely a top 25 team. But they take into effect what teams did the year before. So it makes sense. And it's the right spot. Like, we're right there. But you got to win. You win convincingly in week 1, and you win, by a couple touchdowns in week 2 against a top 20 Pittsburgh team. You're looking at the Florida game, Tennessee potentially being in the top 15. So they're in a good spot. It's not like they're like 40th or something ridiculous, Like, it's a reasonable position to be at 26.
Honestly, I kind of thought that we were sitting at that we would sit at like the 30-35 range when I was first thinking about how the season was going to play out, because like y'all said, like we went 7-6 and then we dropped games that we should have won. So I think they see like our inability to close out those games that we should have won. That probably hurts us and keeping us out of the top 25. But again, I don't know that Wake deserves to be in there. And Kentucky probably has one of the softest schedules that I've ever seen, and they're sitting in at 20. Granted, Drew, I know how you feel about them. You know how we all feel about them.
No, don't twist it like that, okay?
Twist like what?
No, I hate Kentucky, but they won the Citrus Bowl last year. They won 10 games. Like, that's a team that deserves to be in the preseason top 25, and they're returning allegedly a first-round quarterback. Okay, so I would agree with that, allegedly.
Lost their star receiver, might lose the running back for half the season.
But it doesn't matter because they won the Citrus Bowl last year and they're returning their quarterback. Like, most general people consensus are going to be like, okay, yeah, Kentucky won 10 games last year. They're returning an preseason all-SEC quarterback. Yeah, they deserve to be a top 25 team. Like,
there's legitimate arguments for both sides, though.
Other side's wrong.
I could see us higher and I could see us lower at the same time. But honestly, then again, it doesn't matter where you start. It's all about where you finish. So leave us out right now. But if we finish top 15, top 20, then I'm way more content than we were left out at the beginning. But as long as we improve and we get better and we win those games that we're supposed to and have the season that a lot of us are expecting us to, I ain't worried about nowhere we start in the preseason.
Exactly.
We're getting it regardless, but
we are. And we got ourselves to prove. But do you guys really want us to be there at 20 or 19 and then have all that pressure in week 2 going to the road at Pittsburgh at the ass and having to win that game? Because if we don't win that game, we're out the top 25? No.
No, you're right.
Chip on their shoulders. They're in the right spot. They're going to be golden.
Yeah. Overall, that's, obviously you beat Ball State. It's bound to, get in first one out. So there's no reason we shouldn't be in going into the pick game, but
there's at least 2 teams that are going to be out of the top 25 in that preseason top 25.
Yeah. It's going to be completely different probably.
Even Arkansas and Cincinnati play each other. They're both top 20 teams. So we'll be in there.
Random question. How do y'all feel about A&M getting up to 6? I seen something where it was Jimbo can pay all that money just to go 8-4 every season.
Well,
it doesn't really matter where they start because they always go 8-4.
Well, they always do go 8-4 or 9-3. It seems like every season. But in his defense, though, he did beat Bama last year and got the number 1 recruiting class. So
he pulled a fantastic class. It's just all those pieces got to play out. But
so the hype is valid. Now, are they going to be a top 16? Hell no. They'll probably be 8-4 again. They'll lose to someone that's awful. They'll lose to Auburn this year. Last year when they lost Mississippi State on the road at home. So
at home,
because you know why? They're Texas A&M. So they always get the hype, which I think is valid. They always get top 5, top 3 recruiting classes. But I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. So obviously a lot to look forward to. Preseason polls, this team, returned a lot of offensive talent. Defense, trying to take that next step and, get off the field this year, third down defense and, stopping the QB runs. I guess to go ahead and drop in the, this year's football, if we want to kind of cover the scrimmage notes, giving a shout out to the defense in that second scrimmage. kind of showing out strong, making plays, going out in there, ripping the ball, taking advantage of the time and, showing out against this offense. Obviously, a lot to look forward to on the offensive side of the ball. I think the big thing is kind of Dylan Sampson and Brew McCoy, who's still not eligible. Kind of concerning, as we talked about last week, as the more it goes on, the more concerning it kind of is. I think the thought is that, the USC paperwork is still the problem there. But, it's kind of, getting close, and it's kind of starting to feel like that Cade Mays situation, where he wasn't cleared to go the first week of the game. I think one or two things could happen. USC could either grant his release, which I don't know why that should be a problem with Lincoln Riley being brand new there and having no idea or anything involved with Brew McCoy, why he should hold him from being eligible. Or it could go the hard route, which will take time and maybe a couple games into the season. And that's for the NCAA to grant his waiver with as much as he's moved around, going from USC to Texas back to USC. Obviously, if it goes down to the NCAA, I fully expect them to take their time with, it being involved with us. Obviously, they care more about basketball in the offseason right now than doing stuff for the NCAA football. It's, 2 weeks approaching from tomorrow. So, obviously, that's one to watch out for. If Brew McCoy can't go week 1 or 2 and he can't, not even in there for the Florida or Pitt game, having to rely on a guy like Ramel Keaton or, Walker Merrill, obviously that's a big hit to the offense. And that would definitely, dwindle down the expectations going into week 2 against an opponent like Pitt, who is very well in the defense, knowing of how to play against Josh Heupel. Pat Narduzzi and Josh Heupel have met 4 times now. Narduzzi knows how to stop this offense regardless of what kind of talent he has, and that game is going to be tough regardless. But if you don't have that outside threat on the other side of Tillman, that's where I get worrisome. Obviously, when he first came here, everything was all dwindled, but now as it counts down, getting more scary. I think we need Brew McCoy to be eligible, guys.
I mean, I think it would help things a lot, but Jalen Hyatt has had experience playing that out in the outside as well. Playing at like multiple positions at wideout, and he's still the best wide receiver that we've had from spring practice and fall camp, if I'm not mistaken. Brew McCoy would be a huge addition. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's like a life or death scenario for Tennessee though if he's not eligible by Ball State. I just think, with Squirrel White and Caleb Webb and Walker Merrill especially, who's had a pretty good couple weeks in practice as well, the depth that's there wide out, I think it's not as concerning if someone like Brew, who could easily be the second best wide out that we have this season if he doesn't come in first game. But going back to the scrimmage, Brando, I am quite surprised that you forgot to mention Mr. Joe Milton's name.
Oh my God, Mr. Missile Man!
He was balling. He was spinning that thing.
He's throwing dots, bro.
He was spinning it.
I'm serious. Like I've heard from about 2 or 3 different coaches that they said that if there's any guy that's had as massive improvements from compared to last year at fall camp, it's Joe Milton. I mean, they're saying that he's having more accuracy with the ball, more accurate with his deep throw, feeling more comfortable in the system. And I think, not that he's going to take Hendon's position by any change to the imagination. However, the one thing that I think we could stay confident about is the fact that if Hendon does go down, with an injury or comes out for a few drives, we don't have to hit the panic button with Joe Milton be there at quarterback. Because, it sounds like the staff is more fired up and hype about him than they were even this time last year. And even when you talk to, Princeton Fant and Ramel Keaton as well, they've been speaking highly of him too. And also, I would argue this gives him, the improvements that he's made this offseason, that if he's not the front runner for the starting job in 2023.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 100%. Obviously, last year late in the Georgia game when he got in that late drive, we saw the twitch there, kind of getting comfortable late when he kind of was, not the starter anymore. And then, this year, even with the highlights, the bomb to Caleb Bell and Ramel Keaton, his whole fundamental, his throwing form, everything kind of looks different, more polished, more like in the system of how kind of Hooker was kind of, calmed down in the game. And obviously that can translate into the game. Like we always knew last year that Joe Milton was a baller as well in practice. But, this year he looks definitely more comfortable, looks more polished, looks like, he knows what he's doing and what, he's kind of reading in the offense. Like last year he revived, for 3 weeks and got thrown in there for Bowling Green as a starting quarterback. He didn't go through spring practice and barely went through fall practice. Going through a full year under the system, obviously, is important going into year 2. And I definitely think that 2023, Taven Jackson, I don't know if he's going to be ready. Joe Milton, 2 years under the system, definitely should be the quarterback one when it becomes to that, as long as he's, staying here. and nothing drastic happens this year where, something crazy happens. But, definitely a guy, that's going absolutely crazy and, being a leader even when, something got took from him. So.
And that's the thing, too. It's like this guy still has the potential, in my opinion. I mean, I genuinely believe this. Like, he's one of the most talented quarterbacks, I think, as far as an athlete perspective, that has come to Tennessee in quite a long time. I still think he has the potential to be an all-SEC quarterback and even to be an NFL quarterback someday. Like, the talent is – he needs to work on the mechanics, but it certainly sounds like, from everything that I've heard, that he has worked on a lot of those, gray areas where he's need room of improvement. And – I think this should be like a very big reliever for a lot of Vol fans out there, knowing that if Hooker goes down for some reason, that it's actually going to be okay. It's not like we're throwing Garantano out there. So,
dear God, Drew, you had to mention the guy threw his first NFL touchdown, man. Like you couldn't mention his first NFL drive, but you bring him down. This is crazy.
You mean against the high school players are out there for?
Come on, Drew.
Hey,
we were having a great show.
If we're not talking about Vols picks, we're not allowed to talk about Garantano either.
No Jeff Mashis, no Vols pick, no Garantano, and no Jeremy Pruitt.
Bring 2 days away from
a live show. We have to take this serious.
Who was I comparing him to? Justin Worley? People will be like, oh, whatever. Worley wasn't that bad. But it's true though. When we were at the Ole Miss game or watching it, of course, when Milton came on that field that last drive, we were like, oh fuck. Don't act like that. Don't act like you weren't
But you almost also shit your pants when you threw that ball to Cedric Tillman, and Cedric Tillman didn't go up high enough to get the ball.
Well, I mean,
and he also ran out of bounds.
Driveless, okay.
He didn't run out of bounds.
Listen, okay.
But I'm just
regardless, the team looks way better than they did last year. Everyone's buying in for year 2 under the system, which is great news. That's positive impact, Drew. We need positive impact.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
The team looks great. The defense is thriving. The offense is great.
Offense is going to be great. Everything's going to be great, except for the Florida game. But everything's.
God.
You have to face a man look at him eye to eye on Friday. You have to look at a man eye to eye that's played Florida himself and beat Florida himself, and you have to confidently tell him, a VFL, that we're not going to beat Florida. And expect this man to take.
I don't think he cares.
Trust me. I'm going to look at those two VFLs in the eyes and tell them with a straight face that we're losing to Florida at home. I will. And guess what? I want the boos. I want the jeers. I want it all. So I want all the hate. I want it all.
Hey, speaking of predictions. Drew, you are in second place of people, or of the prediction poll of people who think that you will lose the competition. Granted, it is an absolute runaway for Lowe.
Yeah,
Lowe's in at 48% of 100 votes, so she dang near has 50 people saying that she's not going to win. Granted, also 10 and 2. I'll say I'm in last, so people got most faith in me, and then Brando, and then Drew, you in at 20%, so you got about 20 people saying it. So. Hey, even with your hot Florida take, which is extremely scorching hot, that we're going to lose.
Stupid.
People still got faith in you.
Yeah, you know why? Because I bring facts and to the table. All right? I don't live in rainbow land like you two. All right.
Oh man, let me drink my that, dude.
You know how many times today, with 15 days away, that I went on YouTube and searched up, Jawan Jennings, Hail Mary, and just watched it on repeat. I did that, and I watched this year's Kentucky game because it was great to watch. But all in all, man, 15 days, and then 2 days into our live show, it'll be 13 days, barely over 2 weeks or under 2 weeks. And we're all going to be there besides Alex at the Ball State game, I think. Of course, going back to the fucking Florida land, disgusting. Yeah. But
I would never.
That's going to be great. Ball State, obviously, around the corner. I expect the full rundown. I think it's going to be a packed house, obviously, with the renovations. Year 2, I think there's already 85 something tickets sold, 1,000 tickets sold. So that's a huge number. If that place didn't even get close to packed out last year, the Bowling Green game, it was 75,000. Awful.
I was up there in the upper deck with all the common working people like myself, and it was not a good showing in the upper deck by any stretch.
Yeah, I was down there in M, so it's always packed. But obviously this year going to be different. I think everyone's hyped for the renovations. The videos coming out look absolutely crazy. The Vol letters. I think that's the first thing I'm going to do when I get to town on Friday morning is go to Neyland Stadium and take a picture of the Vol letters because those things are beautiful.
I do have to say, I drove through campus yesterday.
I've seen that.
And it's even more beautiful in person.
Yeah,
like,
really? Oh my god!
It's perfect.
Hey,
I might cry real
I'd be doing
tears.
the exact same thing, bro. I'd be going and seeing Neyland. I'd be watching them put them signs up every day. I swear I would. Golly, it makes me so happy.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I'm literally walking in on Friday, just like I own the place. But Drew, I guess before we hop in, to the live show one more time, basketball yesterday after the 2 huge commitments for football, Rick Barnes, big old Rick Barnes landing a commitment from 4-star combo guard, shooting guard, point guard mix, Freddie DeLone, huge pickup for the Vols and the basketballs. Tell us about this guy.
Yeah, Rick Barnes has lost a lot of, progress on the recruiting trail the last couple months. But, big pickup, 4-star Francis DeLone, top 100 overall player, one of the top 5 players in the state of North Carolina, had a really impressive offer list with Virginia, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Alabama, LSU, just to name a few. He's the type of guy where, Rick Barnes described him as an alpha scorer. Like one of those guys where, if you got a game on the line, few seconds left, trying to hit a buzzer beater winner, he's the guy that wants the ball in his hands. And I think that's a guy that Tennessee has been missing for quite a long time, probably since the Grant and Admiral days, if not even longer.
Type thing.
Type of guy where he's great from the 3, has improved tremendously under defense, but he sets himself up where he allows his other, teammates out there to get brand new opportunities on the corners as well. So a big pickup. Surprisingly, with not getting that many commits this year, Tennessee actually has the number 11 recruiting class with 2 4-stars. So not sure how, but I'm all for it though. And I expect, this will just be the fall of the dominoes for Rick Barnes and this recruiting staff. So big pickup, always good when we get a 4-star come here for basketball. And I think it's just the beginning for Rick Barnes in this 2023 recruiting class.
Yeah. Is the other guy, Cade Phillips? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Cade Phillips, the guy that, the Alabama legacy, we took over Alabama and Auburn, obviously coming to Tennessee under Rick Barnes, and then also getting, a 4-star combo point guard that can probably play all around, shooting, his assists, his passing, everything that can be. Having that, obviously getting a guy down low and then another guard. We're about to lose, Scovey and Triple J and a bunch of guys. Tyreek Key, I think he only has 1 year, 2 years left. And you obviously have, so you have really just BJ Edwards that'll bring in this guy coming in for the 2023 class. And then obviously Tennessee last year finishing really, really strong with Julian Phillips. He's probably a one and done as well. So, you probably have to go out there and get another small forward or elite guy. And we know how Tennessee is, with the recruiting. Obviously a huge pickup after it being so dry. Hopefully it can pick back up with all this. Hopefully this pickup will, lead and make a domino effect if we're lucky in basketball. But we obviously know that when it comes down to the wire before, next year, Spire and, Rick Barnes are going to buckle down for some top prospect as, and probably try to win out there. So I think all in all, nothing really to worry about, but you definitely have to reload because there's a lot of guys like, Vescovi, Triple J, Cam Law, and some other guys, Euros, that are going to be leaving soon. And, the future of Tennessee basketball is kind of looking unknown. You got to build that picture. So,
well, it's definitely going to be a large overhaul for sure. This will be the largest recruiting class that Rick Barnes has ever had during his time at Tennessee because you're replacing about 7, 8, even potentially up to 9 from this year's roster. However, though, if history has shown Rick Barnes, right around September through December is when his recruiting picks up. And I think it's going to be a fantastic tactic for him on the recruiting trail to be able to tell these kids that they're going to have the opportunity to play as a freshman. And he definitely has the resume to back that up with, just with Kennedy Chandler and
Keon Johnson, Jaden
Johnson, just to name a few. So I think this is, a good pickup, a good start. Definitely no need to panic. I don't think next year we're going to have as good of a team as we will have this year. In fact, I think this will be the best team Tennessee's ever had in basketball history. Hot take for you. Final Four.
Back-to-back SEC champs?
I genuinely believe that.
I can see it.
I think regular season and tournament. So, scorching hot take there for you. But
damn, Drew.
As long as we have Rick Barnes under the helm, taking control of this basketball program, we're going to be in good hands. So,
Yo, Alex.
What?
Basketball, Drew, and Florida game, Drew, were completely.
Why was I about to say the same thing? My gosh, I was about to say, bro, how do you flip from like being like,
oh my gosh, we just can't beat Florida in football?
Granted, is it true? Yes, but
we just never gonna do it. I'm just
no. Hold on, no. You had a turn. You had a turn, Drew.
Unbelievable.
Let Alex wants to speak.
He's gonna see here, Brando, and he's gonna be like,
no, we just can't do it in football. Florida just won't let us, and I'm preaching facts.
and then he's like, oh, Mr. Rick, you will lead us anywhere, no matter what.
Rick Barnes, Lord and Savior.
All right. So
they're like two different opposites.
No.
That's weird.
Let's bring
Drew, are you not on the hype train?
Let's bring you back down to reality. The reason so is because Rick Barnes has proved himself time and time after again with this basketball program, consistently made us a top 15 team over the last 6 years. Okay. He's also
one game.
Also won us first. He also won us our first SEC tournament in 45 fucking years. I mean, freaking Burt at Ball Network was a player the last time we won the damn SEC tournament. So I think it's very valid to have, to say praise and have confidence that we will be good in basketball, but at the same time, though, not have confidence in us beating Florida because we've only won one fucking game since 2005 against them. So it's a valid argument. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I would love to. Don't have a pipe. But you give Heupel one chance to beat Florida, and then you're like, oh, we just can't do it ever. Oh my God. Like Florida's just gonna be our dad forever. Okay, that's fine. This year's different, Drew. You know that if it ain't this year, then we just need to just find a new place to play.
You know how many times I heard if it's not this year, then it's never. I've heard that for 2014. I've heard that for 2015. I've heard that for 2013 and 2012. Okay.
What about 2016? Oh, wait, it happened.
Yeah, hold on. You stopped it a year.
Oh, wow. The one time that we beat them since I was 5 years old, whoopie fucking do. I mean, my God. This is ridiculous. It's two complete different things. And there's a reason why there's two different arguments. I'm not going to be like, oh, my God, Tennessee's amazing. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look at the facts. I'm going to live in reality. You can go live in your communist rainbow land over there. All right? I'm going to stay here and stuck down reality.
Oh my God!
Unbelievable.
Dear God. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'd love to get turned up about Florida Drew. Florida Drew probably my favorite.
And he's still going to be there in Neyland Stadium, cheering it on, singing Rocket Top.
We can score a touchdown. Drew will be sitting there.
Okay, all right. So
that wasn't good enough to beat Florida. We scored points, and I just can't do it.
Let me get this straight, because I don't think we're going to beat Florida. I don't deserve to be there at the stadium. I know we're going to lose to fucking Alabama this year, but I'm still going to cheer and hope they win. I'll hope we beat Florida. I hope I'm wrong, but history has been on my side with this argument for quite a long time. God damn.
Dear God, we really have to get you and Juice, sitting down on Friday. And, I think it's going to be a huge segment for the live show is, you and Juice getting this topic off your shoulders, because it is becoming, I thought CG, when he came in here and, set you straight, he only gave you a apartment, adjustment. We need the full AA attitude adjustment. Maybe from the Gator killer himself, Juice Davis. I think that's what it's going to take.
I mean, I would love to hear his argument, but I'm going to tell him, listen here, it's not 2004 anymore. This is 2022.
Dear God, Drew.
No, we don't have Casey Clausen on our team anymore. We don't have, the Iceman, the Gator killer himself. Times have changed. All right. And that's all right. We're getting, but this year history has proven that we can't beat Florida at home.
So you're scared of Billy Napier. That's what you're telling me.
I'm not scared of him, but we lost to freaking Shark Humper and Will Mustard. So what's for me to think that?
God, Drew, this is supposed to be a short mini episode promoting the live show, and you're fucking bro.
You're starting the ones that went on this for the last 5 minutes. This is ridiculous.
It's not my fault that I called your fucking bias out between Rick Barnes and Josh Heupel. Two completely different attractions in your mind. Rick Barnes could literally never mind.
No, I can't. No, because he had disappointing years where recruits have not panned out. I will admit that with Keon Johnson and Jaden Springer. Regardless if you like this opinion or not, they were both kind of bust at Tennessee. We didn't even make it past the first round. So, yes, he has his faults in the tournament, but he's the second best coach Tennessee's ever had, and it's not even close.
If Rick Barnes walked in the SkyBox Bar and Grill on Friday, Drew would treat him with the the most special
Drew
treatment.
would
Let's just say
carry
that.
him on his
With
shoulders.
the
to a
Deshaun
seat.
Watson treatment.
No.
Like, it's just.
Now you're just being ridiculous.
Rick Barnes
don't
would take a bite of food, and Drew would dab his face. He would be like, "Here, Drew,
Ladies and
Mr.
gentlemen,
Watson."
we have a live show in 2 days.
Regardless,
August 19th.
you like it or not, Rick Barnes is the greatest basketball coach in the modern era for Tennessee. That is facts. You cannot argue. He was better than Bruce Pearl. So, and you cannot deny that. And if you're just denying that, then you're just a hater. Like you just hate. You got hate in your heart. You don't want to accept reality. And you know what? That's okay. But like, you know what? I like to accept facts. I like to be in reality. I don't know about you two, but I do.
I mean, I think you know me and Alex very well, Drew. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a live show in 2 days, Friday, August 19th, 22nd birthday of me. No big deal or anything. Obviously, a live show with Jabari Davis, Juice Davis, me, Drew, Alex, Lowe for the first time. Lowe out here grinding, missing the last 2 weeks, promotional reasons. Out here securing bags for the brands, getting us all paid. So very, very well. Obviously, after the show, 2 weeks from football, very huge. But Drew, Alex, 2 days, the polls going for the final punishment, a bunch of things at stake. The big costume surprise, they say, $70, gift certificate, best dressed Vols fan to come into SkyBox, super important. Also crazy challenges with the most hottest wings, they said, if you can complete that, some crazy Vol gear and some extra stuff. So obviously everyone's encouraged to come. SkyBox Bar and Grill will have the address and a full flyer on our Twitter and be promoting it for the next 2 days. Super, super excited. Drew, Alex, how do y'all feel?
Fired up, man. It's gonna be awesome there on Friday night. Gonna be a great way to start your maniac hour. 22 birthday for Brando. But I'm sure he's feeling 22. So
I don't know that.
No, but I mean, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great seeing everyone out there. Our first little live thing, first time all of us are going to meet together, which is kind of great. Thanks. So exciting. It's going to be a great time. Definitely come out and join us.
No, we really been doing this for 8 months and have yet to all be in the same physical location.
8 months? No shot.
Well, me and Drew didn't get on until January. Right.
That's fucking crazy. And that's wild. Yeah. Crazy. Okay.
But no, we get to celebrate our first live show. We get to celebrate at SkyBox Bar and Grill. We get some good food, get some good drinks, get to celebrate the birth of the legend himself, Mr. Brando Ball Scoops, all the nugs that he's always dropping. But yeah, speaking about those polls, I did kind of screw the Baghead karaoke because I only had so many characters I could explain like what that was. But Date with a Blow-Up Doll is holding on to a very slim lead over getting tased and eating a ghost pepper. So make sure you check that tweet. It's pinned on our profile as the punishment poll. And then there is the prediction poll right under that, who you think will be the loser of our season prediction. So just a little fun game that we play in, but make sure y'all vote on those. But no, I'm super excited. I'm super excited to hang out with y'all and just kind of kick it with Jabari for a little bit. And then our other unnamed guests that we are still trying to figure out. But it's going to be dope. I think if you're missing it, then you're missing out. So,
oh yeah, I think my perfect idea of the whole blow up doll thing is like a picture in a Waffle House first date kind of nervous kind of vibe. Yeah, that's definitely, that's gonna be Drew, and I don't know how his fiance with is gonna take that with him having post a blow up doll, because if Drew's predicting us to lose to Florida in his official prediction on Friday, I think Drew's gonna kind of be upset when he has to have a date with a blow up doll. But obviously,
she's not gonna be. That's for sure. She will not be a happy camper with this. But sorry, I'm not going to take to the blow up doll if I do lose, of course, which I won't because I don't lose. I won't. I'm not going to take him to a Waffle House. Okay, I got a little bit more class. I'll take him to a fancy dinner at Calhoun's on the River or Ruth Chris's. I'm at least going to enjoy.
No shot. There's no.
There's no. They're not letting you in the door of Ruth Chris.
There's no shot.
Hey, here's my date. It's rubber.
The host is not letting you in, bro. No shot.
Who's that trick you came with? Like, they're not gonna let you in.
I feel like people are discriminating. Okay, this is like I thought this was 2022. I thought we were open.
This is Tennessee, not Kentucky. We just don't do it here, boys.
We have electricity. I mean, so
Yeah, they live off coal.
Yeah,
We understand.
it's got
That's
coal.
why they're called coal miners. Yes. Boys, live show 2 days. Gonna be a fucking pleasure. Any last notes? Obviously, the huge recruitments, basketball and football. Horns down as always. Sark, is out there drunk somewhere. Respectfully. Any last notes before we close this off? And expect for a huge, huge Friday.
No, I mean, other than the fact that I love that we try to have a 20-minute episode and we're at 40.
Yeah, thank you, Drew.
So,
With your Florida takes, yes.
no, you're the one that
Florida
started.
man Drew.
I have to make the comment.
We agree that it's Drew's fault, Alex.
For
Florida man Drew.
All right, thank you. Yeah, Lowe's gonna be pissed at
Well,
us, but okay.
All right, someone get the poll out. We'll see what the audience thinks. So, but nah, fired up for Friday, boys. It's gonna be a hell of a time. Drinks are gonna be flowing. We're gonna be partying. I'm gonna be yelling, and I'm gonna be
My mother's gonna hate me.
off. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, my parents go see a different side of me, so that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, no, I'm just stoked. I can't wait to get up there. I don't even want to I want to go to sleep, but I don't because I'm so dang excited for this. But we still got people in the Twitter feed saying that we think Drew loses. So that's all I'm gonna say.
That's kind of crazy, Drew. Personally, I wouldn't take that level of disrespect, but that's just me.
Unbelievable.
We beat Florida. I don't give a dang. We beat Florida.
Horns down. Yeah. Obviously, boys, pleasure. Huge episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope to see you Friday live in person in the flesh. Horns down. Huge recruitment. Let's see if that can keep going. Obviously, football on the way. And stay tuned for Friday. We hope to see y'all there. SkyBox Bar and Grill, South Gay Street. Be on the tune out for Twitter in the next 48 hours. And I guess with that, go Vols. Huge W episode. And we'll see y'all next time.
Go Vols.